The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and thank you so much for attending our webinar tonight on the Rollins College Paralegal Certificate Program. My name is Angela Marshall, and I'm one of the program advisors here for our Paralegal Certificate Program. I've been in higher education for the past 8 years, dealing with professional development programs, and I'm looking forward to speaking with many of you about your own professional advancement and how our paralegal program can help you to achieve those goals. Our paralegal program is offered through the Rollins College Center for Lifelong Learning, located on our Winter Park campus, and we're committed to serving the citizens of the Florida area with quality education. The Paralegal Certificate Program is a 6-month non-credit certificate program which consists of classroom instruction delivered by practicing attorneys and paralegal managers. Our instructors are licensed and experienced so that they can bring the real-world expertise to the classroom, ensuring that your learning experience is informative and engaging. We cover 6 topics, which we'll discuss also later in the webinar, including Introduction to Law, Tort and Personal Injury, Legal Research and Writing, Civil Litigation, Contract Law, and Family Law. Each of these classes focuses on the applicable skills which you will need to be a successful paralegal. So let's get started. And at this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to my colleague, Jennifer John.
Well, thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate that introduction. I do want to thank everybody that's on the webinar with us this evening. It looks like, oh my gosh, we've got over 50 attendees that are here with us tonight. One of our main goals with our presentation this evening is to ensure that we give you the overview and advice that you would need to make an informed decision about which paralegal program would be a good fit for you. There are quite a few options out there. We certainly hope that Rollins is one you select, but it may not be the best fit for you based on your background. So I will be, during the webinar, I'm going to be sharing information about our program, why you should earn a paralegal certificate, and again, if the Rollins Paralegal Program is the best fit for you. I do have information about the format of our program, the excellent instructors that teach for us, and then at that point I'm going to turn the webinar back over to Angela. She's going to share some information about some of the payment options that we have available, how you can register, and then we will reserve probably the last 10 minutes for any questions that you have. Before I get started, though, I do want to make sure that our audio is coming through loud and clear. You'll notice there's a small hand icon in your GoToMeeting panel. If you can go ahead and click on that icon, that's going to indicate to us that you can hear us. So I'll give everybody a second to click on that hand icon. Up. Fantastic. I see hands going up everywhere. Also, I do want to mention there's a question box area. As I'm going through my presentation, feel free to type your questions in there. Angela will try to answer as many of them as possible during the presentation, but again, we will most likely keep about the last 10 minutes open for any remaining questions that you might have. Well, before I do get started, I wanted to mention just a quick background about myself. As you saw in the picture before, we wanted to put our names with the face if you'll be talking to us in the future. I have over, gosh, about 28 years in the paralegal training area as well as working as a paralegal. Way back in the mid-1980s, I graduated from a paralegal certificate program, and while I never ended up working as a paralegal, I was hired on by that paralegal program, and I worked in quite a few different capacities, everything from, and back in those days, this is when all of the textbooks were actually in law libraries. It's not like today with everything being electronic. So I worked in the library. I eventually worked as the actual academic director and hired many of the instructors that taught for us. Over the years, I've worked on site at several different universities with their programs, and I can share that I mentored and worked with, oh gosh, hundreds of paralegal students and just thoroughly love my job. The one thing that I can share during this 28-year history in our paralegal industry is that there is always a need for paralegals. We always thought that eventually it would become a area where there'd be problems as far as recession, those types of things. But as you know, if you have any background as far as the way the legal world works, bankruptcies don't go away, litigation doesn't go away, real estate transactions, everything that is incorporated into a law office practice is fairly recession-proof, and I think that's one of the big strengths of our particular profession. All right, well, let me go ahead and get started. So first of all, why become a paralegal? Well, I think I have several compelling reasons that I'd like to share with everyone tonight. First of all, did you know the paralegal career track is ranked as a top 10 career, and that's according to the Wall Street Journal. Also, did you know the paralegals ranked as one of the best jobs in America, and that's according to Money Magazine. This profession continues to experience exceptional growth. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the paralegal field is projected to grow by more than 18% through 2020. You'd be hard-pressed to find a field, probably other than healthcare, with extremely healthy growth potential over the next decade. As employers try to reduce cost and increase the efficiency of legal services, they're expected to hire more paralegals. I'd say following the cutbacks experienced during that recent recession, many law firms are rebuilding their support staff by hiring paralegals to perform duties which were once done by attorneys or first or second year associates. Hopefully nobody in my audience has a family member or a friend that's recently graduated from law school, because it's a tough market for law school graduates right now. Companies are, of course, hiring paralegals because they are, at least 60% less from an overhead cost, and quite frankly have the talent and skills to perform those high-level duties that were once performed by attorneys. I think we're going to see a change over the next 5 years, but for right now, the market is much stronger for paralegal hires. I'd say paralegals also, it's simply the fact that their positions can't be offshored. And the main reason for that is because a lot of the work that paralegals do are either face-to-face, taking transactions, hearings, perhaps working on depositions, but the majority of what a paralegal is going to be doing is much more face-to-face, and that type of offshoring is not going to happen in this industry. Also, law firms are going to continue to be the largest employer of paralegals, but many large companies are also increasing their in-house legal departments to cut back on costs. For many of those companies, the high cost of lawyers and their support staff make it much more economical to bring everything in-house and have their own legal department rather than having to retain outside counsel. Of course, this is going to lead to an increase in the demand of legal workers in a variety of settings, such as finance, insurance firms, consulting firms, and healthcare providers. Next, I like this particular screenshot. It's a quote from Carl Rogers. The only person who is educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change. Our program prepares graduates to work in that ever-changing paralegal field. And paralegals are found in all types of organizations. They usually work full-time, but frequently you're going to find overtime is required to meet important deadlines if there's a large litigation case that you're involved in. But everything focuses around billable hours in a law firm. Paralegals do help attorneys prepare for trials, also any hearings that they may have, and then corporate meetings. I'd say the specific duties may vary depending on several factors: the size of the firm that you'd be working for or the organization. Generally, in smaller firms, paralegals' duties tend to be much more varied. But in those large organizations, the paralegals work mostly on a particular phase of a case rather than handling a case from beginning to end. Next, I wanted to share a little information about which program might be the best fit for you. I'd say this is one of the biggest strengths that we have. You have so many different choices in paralegal education. But I think the type of program that you choose really depends on many different factors. First of all, there are American Bar Association approved programs. Now, ABA programs are frequently associated with community level colleges or trade schools where individuals are going to go in and either get a 2-year or 4-year undergraduate degree. The ABA does not certify programs, but they do approve them. I would say out of the approximately 1,200 paralegal programs in the country, only 250 are ABA approved. And again, those are mostly associated with community level colleges and trade schools. Now with Rollins Paralegal program, we require one of two things, either a 4-year undergraduate degree or a minimum of 4 years of professional work experience. So that prior educational experience doesn't make it very likely for somebody to attend an ABA program if they already have their 4-year degree. And then many paralegal certificate students, they have that valuable real-world experience but lack the credentials to be competitive for job opportunities. And then motivation. Students who take certificate programs must be motivated since they are expected to gain knowledge and skills in a relatively short period of time. Now, attorneys want to hire paralegals that can efficiently and accurately perform specific law-related tasks. They want those paralegals that possess the skills which make them, and of course their firm, more productive. I'd say as a general rule, attorneys really don't care about your geometry, psychology, or other general study courses. What they really care about is if you can maintain a client file, conduct legal research, draft legal documents, and perform other relevant legal tasks. Our paralegal certificate program offers training in the specific skills that attorneys are looking for in their paralegal employees. Next, why should you earn your certificate? Your paralegal certificate in general. You may think this is fairly self-explanatory, but surprisingly, it's not the only reason people earn a certificate just to become a paralegal. We have found that a lot of our students are really interested in going on to law school, and they use the program as a stepping stone to determine two things. First of all, are they really passionate about law? And second, are they willing to make that financial and time commitment that it takes to go to law school? So we found that earning a paralegal certificate and working as a paralegal for several years really helps that individual make that decision if becoming a lawyer is the ultimate goal that they'd like to go on to. Also, a lot of individuals, they're currently working in fields such as accountants, business owners, social service providers, contracting government staff, and they simply want to enhance their current career. So they take a paralegal certificate program, such as ours, to better understand those aspects of the law that are going to enhance their current work or profession that they're in. And then last, why should you gain your certificate from Rollins? Well, first of all, the Rollins reputation is well known, not just only in our state of Florida, but across the country. As a top university, having the Rollins certificate program credentials on your resume will speak loudly about the high level of training which you've received. Next, all of our instructors are licensed practicing attorneys who are being selected for both their legal expertise and teaching ability. Each of our instructors will be going through an intensive hiring process, and I do have a slide about this in a few slides, but the main difference between our program and some of the other paralegal programs that you may find is that our instructors are not full-time faculty members. It makes our program a much richer and deeper experience because the individuals that are teaching are practicing attorneys, and they bring that real-world experience right into the classroom setting. And then last, our 6-month program, it's ideal for those individuals who are looking for a fast track into a new paralegal career. That being said, it's very challenging and extensive, but we provide all the resources that you're going to need to succeed in our program. It's offered conveniently on 2 evenings each week for 3 hours a night so that you can maintain your busy professional and personal work-life balance while attending our program. And if you decide to join our paralegal certificate program, you'll become part of over a 125-year tradition of excellence. Rollins is consistently ranked as the top college in Florida, the top regional university in the South, according to the U.S. News and World Report, and among the finest schools in the nation. We were founded back in 1885 by New England Congregationalists who sought to bring their style of liberal arts education to the Florida frontier. And Rollins is the oldest recognized college in the entire state of Florida. We border Lake Virginia, and Rollins occupies a lush and gorgeous 70-acre campus in a quaint community near Orlando. The campus is about a 20-minute drive from downtown Orlando and just about 30 minutes by car from Orlando International Airport. So the location is pristine, very reputable, and very convenient for those individuals that are living within that particular area. It's also doable for those that are interested in driving in. As I mentioned, it's only 2 evenings a week for 3 hours each night, and for those that are able to commute, it's also a very convenient format. All right, as I mentioned, we do hire instructors based on not only their credentials, all of them have to be members of the Florida Bar. So that's one of the main criteria that we look for. First of all, are they subject matters in the particular areas of law that they'll be teaching in? But more importantly, do they have experience working with paralegals? We do need to ensure that the instructors not only understand their contract law work, but also have paralegals that they supervise or work with so that they're able to share with their students what it takes to be a successful paralegal. We're going through a very intensive process of hiring the instructors that will be teaching in our first program, but rest assured the process is very thorough. After each class is over, our students are also going to be evaluating their instructors, and we will find that information to be very important as we make decisions on rehiring the instructors. So we take those student evaluations very seriously as far as rehiring, but at this point we have an excellent slate of instructors that are going to be training for us, and all of them have gone through that intensive hiring process. Now, in addition to the Florida Bar members that are going to be training, we also incorporate into our program career development. Now, the instructor that's going to be teaching career development, while not a practicing attorney, is a high-level paralegal program manager that really knows what it takes to be successful, not only in your job search, but also during that interview process. So the career development program, I'd say it truly sets the Rollins program apart from others. Through this program, we're going to help you explore different career options. We'll also help you polish your resume so that it stands out and communicates all that you can bring to an organization. We'll also work with you on your interview techniques so that you make a great first impression. Now, unlike some undergraduate programs that actually have a career office, our program doesn't, but we do give our students all the tools that they're going to need to make a successful job search. Also, you are eligible for student membership in your local paralegal association. That's actually a very excellent networking association that our career development instructor will be sharing with the students. They have meetings, a lot of time where you are able to actually network with practicing paralegals and hear from them as far as a day in the life of the paralegal, what they're doing during their day-to-day job duties, and also what they did as far as their job search. So as everybody knows, like anything else in life, it's to get your foot in the door. Those networking opportunities are always important. All right, I do want to share some information now as far as our requirements to see if you would qualify for Rollins College's paralegal program. As I mentioned, we require one of two things, either a 4-year undergraduate degree or 4 years of professional office experience. Now, that office experience doesn't necessarily have to be in a legal field, but some sort of full-time practice in the workforce. This is going to ensure that our students are prepared for the high level of educational training in the program. Now I'd like to share information about the affordable tuition that we have for the program. Everything is included in that tuition fee of only $4,995. That would be all of your textbooks for the program. I'd say those run us in approximately the $800 to $900 range. I'm sure you remember during your undergraduate days how expensive those textbooks could be, but don't be concerned, that's included in the tuition. Any of your course materials, instructor PowerPoint presentation. We'll also give you access to our online learning portal, which is called Canvas. In Canvas, our instructors will be posting their syllabi, their PowerPoint presentations. Any handouts for the program will be posted there, as well as where our students are going to take their final examinations in the 6 classes that are in the program. We also include a student subscription to Westlaw. Now, Westlaw is one of the 2 nationally recognized legal research database systems. The other system is called LexisNexis. We've actually looked at both of these systems, and I would say the majority of your largest law firms have both Westlaw and LexisNexis. For the paralegal program, we decided to go with Westlaw because they have just exemplary customer service. If a student who's involved in their legal research and writing class has a question and they just can't wait till the next class session to ask their instructor, there's an 800 number that Westlaw provides, and it is actually manned by an attorney 24/7. And trust me, we tested out this line. There is somebody that will pick up the phone at 10 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning and help walk you through whatever type of search or assignment you are trying to work on in Westlaw. For those of you that are currently working in a law firm, you know that those subscriptions are an excellent way to get very familiar with the system. Now, if you do end up working for a smaller firm that may, say, only have LexisNexis, I wouldn't be too terribly concerned about that. Both of those interfaces are fairly similar, and it wouldn't take you very long to ramp up to LexisNexis. And the last thing that I do want to mention is that we provide a beautiful graduation certificate from Rollins College once you graduate. Next, I do want to share the steps that you need to go through to earn your certificate of completion. One thing I didn't add to this slide is that we recommend that you attend all of the class sessions. Of course, this is an adult learning program. We understand that individuals are going to have things that come up in their life. Perhaps you have to stay late at the office and you're not able to attend a class. You may have some personal commitments, be it a family member or yourself that is sick. So we do understand that you may miss a class. We strongly recommend, though, that you attend the majority of the classes. If you know in advance that you're going to miss a class, we always suggest that you reach out to one of your fellow classmates and make sure that you get notes, but also reach out to the instructor and do one of two things. Let them know that you're going to be missing the class and make sure that you get any assignments that you miss. So those are the recommendations. The requirements, though, are that you need to complete each of the 6 courses with a minimum of 70%, but an overall cumulative average of 75%. And here are the 6 topics that Angela had mentioned earlier during her introduction. We offer an introduction to law class, tort law and personal injury, civil litigation and legal research and writing, contract law, family law, and of course our 2 career preparation seminars. I have examples of the 2 upcoming programs that we're going to be offering. Hopefully everybody can see these. It's a little bit small, but this is the way that a typical program is going to run. This happens to be our inaugural program that is scheduled from November 5th through May 8th, 2014, and this program meets on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. During the first week on November 5th, you will have your first career preparation seminar, and that's going to give students a very good overview of the different areas of law that students can work in and what the difference is in the cultures from, say, a small firm or a solo practitioner up to some of the largest law firms and companies. We also provide students with their syllabi and reading assignments so they get prepared to kick off their actual first class, which is going to be November 7th, Introduction to Law. You'll notice then on the rest of the weeks leading up to the holiday on December 7th that students are completing their tort law and personal injury class along with the Introduction to Law class. Of course, any regular holiday, students will not be in class, so that's a good thing to keep in mind if you're looking at these 2 schedules that I'll be sharing. Just know that all of the holidays you would not have a class session. But even more importantly, students are only taking 2 modules at any given time. So again, we begin each program with tort law and personal injury and then Introduction to Law. You'll notice then after students return after the holidays, January 28th indicates a week-long break. That is when our students are completing their first set of online final examinations, and they're also beginning their readings to start off during the week of February 4th with our civil litigation and legal research and writing classes. Again, there's a break March 25th when students complete their final exams, and then we end our program with family law and contract law during the time period of April 1 through May 6th. Now, each one of these topics, well, I mentioned you need to receive a 70% in each topic. That's going to be a combination of several different grading areas. Each module or each topic does have a final examination, but then depending on the module, you'll have additional written assignments, quizzes, or also, as an example, in the legal research and writing course, that particular course has the most assignments simply because students are turning in weekly legal research assignments in those classes. For contract law, it's going to be writing 2 contracts and submitting those assignments along with the final exam. So with each class, the actual grading is going to be based on the content in the class, but minimally 1 or 2 assignments, perhaps a quiz and then a final exam to achieve that 70% in each one of the courses, and then the overall average of 75% from a graduation standpoint. The next program that I did want to share with you is our February 8th through July 6th format. This one is going to be scheduled on Saturdays. It's a 9 a.m. to 12 and 1 p.m. to 4 format. Very similar, though. The content is identical. The classes that our students are taking are identical. The main difference is Saturday may be a better fit for you, depending on your personal your personal commitments. Personally, I would prefer going 2 evenings a week, so I would most likely opt for that evening format, but a Saturday schedule may be a better fit for you. And again, all of the courses are identical. So those 2 options are available from a registration standpoint. Okay, next, at this point, as we're about to talk about payment options, I think I'd like to go ahead and turn the webinar back over to Angela Marshall. Angela will be following up with everybody after the webinar's over and then sharing information about next steps, and then also if you have additional questions, she'll also be addressing those. So Angela, do you want to talk a little bit about the payments that we have in place?
Absolutely, and thank you, Jennifer, for your rousing presentation. I think you've answered a lot of the student questions that have come up, but we will make sure to follow up at the end of the presentation as well. So if you are ready to enroll, we would love to have you, whether it's for our Thursday, Tuesday evening classes or the Saturday classes. You can pay in full. Download our registration form at our website at www.rollins.edu/rcll/certificates/paralegal. I want you to keep in mind that I will be sending out a copy of tonight's presentation along with the registration form and some additional information to everyone that's on the webinar tonight through email tomorrow. So definitely feel like if you need to look over this again before enrolling, feel free to do so, but you'll also have everything you need to enroll at that point. Once you have the registration form, you can pay in full with check or a credit card, or you can complete our Sallie Mae Smart Loan option. That link is directly off our website. I will make sure to include that in my email as well. And you simply go to the Sallie Mae link. There's a couple of instructions you have to follow, and you'll get an answer directly back from them. Once approved, you still have to complete a registration form, but this is definitely a payment option that's available to you as well. If you don't want to go through the Sallie Mae Smart Loan, or you don't want to pay with check or credit card, feel free to check out your own personal banks or financing institutions to see if that's an option that you can go that route as well. So a little bit more information about Sallie Mae. It is a smart loan, it is a loan, and it's based on an interest rate. It's based off your credit score. We do not control this. This is something you do directly with them since it is a loan option. If you have low or no credit, the system may recommend right then and there that you get a co-borrower. I've had students do that in the past and still been able to participate in the program. The great thing is it's an online application, and you receive an email response from Sallie Mae within the 24 hours of submitting your application. So typically, if we see that your credit score is above a 630, you might find it easier to get approved without the co-borrower, but definitely this is an option that's quick and easy for you to fill out and complete from our website. So again, if you're ready to enroll, there's our website listed right here on the presentation. Again, I will include this information in the email that I will send to you. Once you complete that registration form, you can fax it to 407-646-2565. You can mail it in or drop it off in person to our address that's listed there below on East Lemon Avenue. Again, we would love to have you, and we try to make this registration process as quick and easy as possible for you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Angela, for that overview about how to register. There are several different options. We do have the Sallie Mae loan in place. Once you go to our website, you're also going to notice there is a second option for a continuing education loan, and feel free to utilize that one as well. As Angela mentioned, our easily accessible website address is right in front of you, and we do have step-by-step instructions specifically for that Sallie Mae loan process. It looked like we had a few questions in about perhaps from individuals that had low credit scores or no credit scores, and unfortunately we really don't have any other options to provide to you as far as financing the program. One thing we always recommend is maybe take a step back and try to work on your income to debt ratio. That will certainly improve your credit score. The other option that Angela already mentioned is getting a co-borrower, perhaps a family member, a friend, or a colleague that could co-sign for you. Sallie Mae does have a really great program in place that once you make those payments, timely payments for 2 years, then your co-borrower is removed from the loan. But beyond that, those would be the only recommendations that we have if you do need to finance the program. Okay, fantastic. I think we've covered everyone's questions. Hopefully that's an indication to us that we did a great job. Obviously, you'll probably get off the webinar and something else will come to mind, but rest assured, Angela will be reaching out to everybody. You'll have her contact information and her email address for questions that come up after the webinar presentation is over. I would like to thank everybody for your time that you spent with us this evening, getting acclimated to the Rollins Paralegal Certificate Program so that you can make an informed decision if you're ready to jumpstart your paralegal career and join the Rollins program. Thanks, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your evening.